evening. This is Monday, October 20th, 15 days until the 2008 presidential election. If you have given less than $200 to the Obama campaign, McCain campaign manager Rick Davis is insinuating there could be something sinister about your donation. Senator McCain himself calls it scandalous. And if you believe we have not yet heard the last of the Reverend Jeremiah Wright, Mr. Davis today hinting, if not threatening, that the Republicans are rethinking their position on playing the right card in the waning days of this election. Our fifth story in the countdown, secrets and lies. The McCain campaign's redoubled effort to paint Senator Obama, if not all who support him, as different and dangerous. The Obama campaign announcing over the weekend it had raised $150 million in September, shattering previous fundraising records. The campaign saying that 632,000 different people made their first donations to Obama in that month, and that the average donation was less than $100. As we mentioned in a conference call today, McCain campaign manager Davis calling some of those, quote, secret donations. Why secret, you ask? I only say secret, to quote Mr. Davis, because I have no doubt that there are the vast majority of those are probably legitimate, but they're being kept secret by the Obama campaign for no good reason. Yes, because the donations themselves lower than the $200 threshold at which the Obama campaign would be legally required to itemize and disclose the identity of all its donors. Nothing secret about something that is perfectly legal. Senator McCain himself, however, raising the specter of scandal, specifically the Watergate scandal.
The dam is broken. We're now going to see huge amounts of money coming into political campaigns, and we know history tells us that always leads to scandal.
Campaign manager Davis also saying today the Republican campaign might go back on Senator McCain's previous vow not to bring up the Reverend Jeremiah Wright. In an appearance on a conservative talk radio program, Mr. Davis justifying another Wright attack by claiming that Congressman John Lewis had opened this door, with his remarks comparing the crowds at recent McCain-Palin rallies to those at the incendiary rallies the segregationist George Wallace held in the 1960s. His boss, with a favorite new attack strategy of his own now, going after Obama's so-called socialist tax plans that would raise taxes only on those making more than $250,000 a year. A mutation on his Joe the Plumber strategy. You know, the poor guy McCain thrust into the spotlight, whom he has kept in the spotlight for 6 days now. Senator McCain surrounding himself with small business owners in Missouri this afternoon in an attempt to make his argument.
These are Joe the Plumbers writ large. These are the pediatricians. These are the small business owners. These are the people, the painters, and the pharmacist and drug developer. Yes,
cosmetic distributor.
Cosmetic distributor. Land developers. These are the backbone of America's economy. They don't want their taxes increased. They don't want checks given away to people that don't pay taxes. It's clear to me, as it is to most Americans, that to, quote, spread the wealth around or increase capital gains taxes in the name of fairness, as Senator Obama wanted to do, is not the recipe to bring our economy out of the ditch. Thank you all very much.
In Florida, where early voting started today, Senator Obama introduced in Tampa by players from the newly World Series-bound Miracle Tampa Bay Rays. And Senator Clinton joining Obama tonight in Orlando, giving his campaign a new slogan while she was at it.
Contrary to the Republicans, we have a new slogan for our campaign as the Democrats move toward victory. It is jobs, baby, jobs. That's what we're for.
The crowd liking her refrain so much, 20 minutes later, they chanted it of their own accord. Senator Clinton also reminding them that she knows a thing or two about Democratic presidents.
We know that Democrats will be able to begin to turn this economy around. A Democratic president did it before, and a Democratic president will do it again.
Let's turn now to our own Richard Wolffe, also, of course, senior White House correspondent for Newsweek magazine. Richard, good evening.
Good evening, Keith.
I'm trying to understand the secrecy and the sinister nature about average Americans of more modest means buying their way into this democratic process with honest money. I mean, how is accusing American voters who are averaging, it's $86 since the campaign began, $86 per contribution. How is accusing them of stealing the election supposed to get them to vote for you and not the guy they are already given the money to?
Well, there's nothing sinister about small donations unless you think the internet is a secret connection of tubes. The important thing here is that both campaigns have had problems with donors who aren't giving full information among these small, huge numbers of small donations. The real issue here is that the McCain campaign is being outspent something like 3 or 4 to 1. Of course, that would make anyone upset. But the participation angle is something to be welcomed. And what's interesting about McCain's performance over the weekend was that he said there needed to be legislation brought in to correct this problem. And that's a fascinating response from a conservative, someone who believes in small government, who thinks the other side are the ones that reach for big government every time there's a problem. So the response to this is I think, more tactical than one of policy.
Spread the wealth, which he keeps shouting as a mantra of sorts. It's obviously an amazing oversimplification of the Democrats' economic message. But if you took it just on face value, why does John McCain think that is some sort of invocation of the devil? I mean, the investor economy just collapsed on top of working people. Why would the working people get angry over the phrase, spread the wealth?
Well, you can have a debate about the context of the comments, and Obama's campaign clearly says that this was about spreading the wealth, the economic wealth. It wasn't about taxes as such. It was making sure the economy worked for everyone. But even if you hypothesize that this was about taxes, you have to understand we have a progressive tax system where wealthy people pay more tax. And unless you are a flat taxer, which we don't think the McCain campaign is, then there's nothing wrong with the idea of wealthy people paying more tax. It's been established as part of Western values for many, many decades now.
The phrase Barack the Socialist, is anybody buying that, or is the whole point of it just to say Barack as many times as possible instead of Obama or Senator Obama?
Oh, no, I think they're trying to make this socialist tax stick. You know, when I first heard it, I thought this was part of McCain's sort of North Vietnamese communist joke. But, you know, anyone who knows about socialism, and McCain has clearly studied communism and socialism for a long time, knows that this is ridiculous. There is nothing even faintly socialist about Obama's policy prescriptions, just as there is nothing socialist about the Bush administration extending government to, I don't know, Medicare prescription drugs. You know, there is these lines don't make any sense anymore when you have a Republican administration in Congress voting to extend big government.
And last point, the Rick Davis threat of using Jeremiah Wright, is it just a threat, or are they going to do it?
I think they will get some surrogates outside groups to do it, but the shock value is gone, and frankly it's more shocking when you see Colin Powell or even a neocon like Ken Edelman, the man who said it would be a cakewalk in Iraq, say they're going to vote for Barack Obama. That's more shocking right now.
Richard Wolffe of MSNBC and Newsweek, great, thanks.
Thank you, Keith.